Oh, I didn't open the chat. Whoops. Whoops. Opening browser. That's working. Hey guys, what's up, bud? Hi, Bunny Bunny. What are you doing, babe? You want my attention? I know. I'll come in and cuddle with you in a minute, babe. You just gotta let me do this really quick. I know, bud. It's warm in that bed. And it's cold outside, buddy. Hey, Jen Nichols, how are you? Good morning. What am I doing? Make host. Boom. Paste. Group. Hey, Jessica, how are you? Share. Just sharing out to groups right now really quick. Just give me one moment, guys. Sorry I have to do it this way, but this is what they request of us. What's the matter, kitten? I hear you crying like a baby. Oh, hi, Svenny. Why are you crying like a baby? You're crying because everybody's in here and not out there with you. Oh, yeah, suck in that air, Tallulah. Do the breath work, girl. Do that breath work, girl. Now exhale all that negativity. Atta girl. Okay, let me see here. Don't play with the cord that Daddy's charging his phone with, Sven. Not a wise idea. Oh, do you hear that? That's Ingmar opening the cabinets. Shit. My little turd burglar. I can hear him out there opening and closing the cabinet doors. Either that or I have a big fat ghost living with me, which I highly doubt, but that would be far more exciting probably. One of these days, I want to see, because the views have been. Oh, hi, Sven. Claws and all. Because the views have been climbing, which is very exciting for me, I'm interested in not sharing it all and seeing what a video does without any shares whatsoever, just to see if people are like watching it from the business page. I'm still trying to figure out where my viewership comes from. Have no clue. No clue whatsoever. So I share to these groups every day, and I don't know. I mean, I imagine it's garnering me some new people, but I don't know if it's really, if all of this time and trouble is actually well spent, so to speak. Not that I'm complaining. I'm not complaining. I was thinking about that this morning. I was like, that something's like growing. It feels like every day a video gets more views. The videos get more views on average than they do. Definitely on Facebook. Um, but so I don't know if I've maybe gotten to a better algorithm, or if more people are watching me. I'm not sure what's going on. Oh, hi Sven. I'm not sure what's going on. So um, uh, I was thinking about just not sharing it all and seeing what happens to that video. Seeing if it like just takes a nosedive and I get no views that day. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. Do I have analytics set up? Analytics on what? I have it on YouTube. There's a like a analytics section, and I've kind of watched some videos on YouTube on how to understand some of that, but it still doesn't make sense to me, Jen. This chat and wonder if that impact. Yes, please do that. Don't share at all. I've been adding hashtags to things. I noticed you've been doing that, and I was I'll see. Good morning, Ducky. How are you? I will see. Maybe tomorrow. I'll just try not sharing it whatsoever. I just get nervous when I think, oh my god, what if nobody watches it? I'm like, what am I doing? What if nobody cares? What do I do, Sven? I don't know. I put my hands up, playing my song. Nothing gonna say, oh yeah. Sven's like, whatever. I came here for love, bitch. Pet me. Don't make me sing Miley Cyrus. So it's a good morning. It's kind of a quiet morning. It's really cold outside. I've been up for a little while now. I'm just giving you guys a report while people sort of filter in. I don't know. Maybe we should just get started with the breath work and just keep it going. Let's keep it mute and keep it cute. So let's do that, guys. Screw it. It's been shared out. People can join in as they want to. Let's bring our attention to center, to right now, to this present moment, to where our bodies are placed in our lives right this very moment. Great. I have a kitten who thinks the pull tab on my jumper needs to be played with right now. All right. So let's bring our attention. We can place our hand on our body, or our cat can place his paw on that owl, or he can bite our fucking finger right now. Not now, Sven. Not now. Just allow your cat or your hand to bring your attention back to your body, to this present moment. Allow yourself to sort of just sit in that for a minute. Take a nice breath, an easy breath. We don't have to hold it, just kind of. And then release. Lay down a grounding cord if you'd like. You can ground through your feet chakras or through your base chakra. Are you hooked, Sven? Hold on, honey. Hold on, babe. I can't see you. Hold on, I can't see your paw. Okay. Okay. So I tend to ground through my first chakra. That's just how I was trained. But you can ground through your feet. Also, I've been trained that way too. So whatever feels most comfortable to you, just connect your body to the planet in this present moment. And let's start with that first breath in. Take it deep into the belly, and we're going to hold at the top of the breath. So join me. Inhale. And hold. Emanate that light. And adjust those chakras. Just intend for them to adjust to where they need to be today. For, ideal, optimum use today. Release that breath. Giving thanks to the body for everything that it does for us. Being in gratitude to it. Just allowing it to be where it is in this present moment and saying thank you for being my body, for carrying me through this lifetime, for listening to my crazy antics. If you've laid sort of judgments on your body or ridiculed your body, or just allowing for that to just dissipate and honoring the body as it is in this moment, just giving gratitude towards it. Let's take in that second breath. And hold. Emanate that light. Adjust those chakras. And release. Sorry, the cat is just too funny. All right, let's give thanks to the mind for all that it does for us. Seeing that mind come into contact with the body, and those two become in support and like I don't know, a cohesion, right? Like they're working together, seeing them supporting one another, seeing them just intending for that connection to be there and strong is a powerful intention, right? It's not one that we stop and kind of like put our attention on, right? But if we intend for those two components of ourselves to sort of come together in support of one another, that's powerful magic, guys. And a lot of people in the world don't necessarily do that. They don't take the time to do that. Let's take in the third breath and hold. Emanate that light out past the body into the auric field, all the way around you. Any final last minute adjustments or settling of the chakras. And release that breath. Really letting go of anything that doesn't belong to us, anything that's no longer needed. And giving thanks to the spirit or soul and all that it does for us. Acknowledging that soul and saying thank you. Bringing it into sort of communion with the body and the mind. Again, powerful, powerful magic. Powerful, powerful intention. It sort of sets our day, sets our space, brings all three equally important, components into that place of equality for us, into that triangle where they're supporting each other and sending each other sort of love and gratitude, grace and ease. We want those to be our focuses as we move through the day, and especially during this holiday season, right? So when you're ready and you feel sort of comfortable, you can take a few more breaths in this space if you want. I'm going to actually. Feels good. You can open your eyes when you're ready. When it feels right. Oh my God. Good morning. Happy December 18th, folks. Let's get to the cards. Sven, you're being really needy today. Just like pushing on the cards, shoving his love into the deck. Good. Feel optimistic, Jessica. That's good. Good spirit. Give us the card for today that we need to see. For those of us who are watching live and those of us that may tune in at any point in time in the future. Let's see what we got going on here. He keeps hitting the deck with his head. The little shit. The little shittles. So he's putting his vibes into our spread today. Are we in appreciation of ourselves, warts and all, guys? That's what I'm wondering. Did we utilize that Queen of Wands energy yesterday? Did we... Oh, like this is a joke. This is a joke. All right, I'm going to continue shuffling because we know this card. It's the Death card again, guys. It's like there's something that we need to be letting go of. There is something that we need to appreciate. I was asking about that Queen of Wands, and then I pulled that Death card. It's like there's something that we need to sort of stop doing. There is something that we need to gracefully let it go. And by doing that, with that Queen of Wands energy we saw yesterday, and she's shown up twice too, it's telling us to embrace it all and just be okay with it in the given moment. Like, stop fighting against it. Whoever it is that's out there, whichever one of you, and I'm not saying it's only one of you, but like, whoever's got such a goddamn strong will that you're not willing to let go, it's like these cards are screaming, let go, now is the time. Oh my God. It's just crazy. I just would love, there's 78 cards in this deck, or 72, I'm not exactly sure, but there's over 70 cards in this deck, and we keep getting the same cards over and over. I'm shuffling for more cards because it cannot. with that death card. I cannot today. I cannot. I can, but I'm not going to. I'm embracing it. I know that it means that something needs to be let go of. I know it's not me because I've been extra nice to myself and extra kind to myself and really just allowing myself to be in the moment for the last few weeks in preparation for Paul's visit. And so I've been getting the house ready and doing what I need to do so that I can, I'm excited and you guys, it's the Five of Swords. This is ridiculous. Okay. Alright, I'm shuffling for one more card. Katie Marie Bailey, welcome to the group. We've been getting these cards. If you may not be a regular viewer with us, but there's these cards. Let me just switch the camera. We keep getting these same cards every day, like over the last 2 weeks. It's been a lot of the similar cards, and so it says to me that we've got folks out here that are watching on the regular that kind of need to let go. I mean, maybe it's me too included in all of this, but this Five of Swords is all about sort of adversarial competition, staying strong, allowing whatever's irking us or bothering us or however we see ourselves, we have to sort of let those things that hold us back go, right? We have to sort of acknowledge what's not working during this period. This is the perfect time to have that release. And if we're not allowing ourselves that release, then we're gonna just be sort of stuck. And these cards feel like they're trying to say to me, or us, I should say, not me, us. Oh wow, okay. This came up the other day too. It's the Ten of Cups. I swear to God, there's other cards in this in this deck. We can't seem to get away from these cards. Okay, so what I am gonna say about this is that wow. All right. I'm not exactly sure where it is that it's so deeply set within us. That's the skeleton that I see in this death card, right? It is sort of to me deep in our bones, at the most densest form of our being. There's something that we need to sort of let go of. There's something that spirit represented in this crow, right? In this card, there's something that spirit, this crow is sort of talking to this skeleton. It's talking to the deepest part of us and saying it's time to let go, right? We might have all of these thoughts or ideas flying around us, or maybe these are some things that we have let go of. But this is like something at the deepest part of ourselves, or where we identify so deeply with it. And I really feel like it's time to sort of let it go. And if we don't, like whatever pain it is, whatever sadness, whatever limiting belief it might be, it's really it's outdated for us is how I'm feeling. There is a new dawn, like I've said this before with this card. This sun represents to me like a new dawn is coming. It is a black sun, right? Because this is the death card in woo woo spooky. But it's not something to be afraid of. It's just an unknown outcome, and that's maybe why some of us might be struggling with this card, or like sort of feeling as though we can't fully let go of whatever we're holding on to. It's time. We can keep the memory of these experiences or these situations as part of like our experiences, but we don't have to create them into our identity anymore. We get to sort of be adults and like kind of heal it and move on from it, and we get to sort of transmute it into spiritual learning, right? I mean, if we go through, I'm going to say this and I don't want to offend anybody, but if we go through our lives believing we're like a wounded bird, we're going to be a fucking wounded bird. And I only say that because of that Nine of Swords that we had saw all last week. So I don't know, I feel like I'm sort of driving home the same message day in and day out because we keep getting sort of similar cards. But the question is sort of, uh, are we willing to let that go? Are we willing to let that part of our identity die off and try something new? Now, if we are, I feel like this Five of Swords is about mental energy, obviously. It's the element of swords and the element of, it's the suit of swords, the element of air, which deals with the realm of the intellect. To me, there's a strength in this tree that's similar to the strength and the of the skeleton that we see in the other card, in the death card. But we've got all of these things picking away at us, right? These woodpeckers, we've got the baby woodpeckers that are housed inside the tree, and we've also got this snake in the tree, right? Like that's there's sort of some drama going on around us in our thoughts is kind of how this feels to me. The thing that like what the name on this card is adversary, right? I want to say that this is some what our we might be our own adversary. This could be adversarial situations in our lives. This could be family members, and this could be coming up because we're at the Christmas holiday season. We might be seeing some adversaries. We might be having some residual feelings that are coming up about our self-worth or what we deserve or whatever. But what we need to remember is that this tree is stronger than these birds and this snake kind of thing, that we can be this sort of like this tree, be grounded and centered amidst all of this adversarial bullshit, and sort of know that these birds do at some point take off, like they're temporary. These birds will flee the nest, this snake will move on, these woodpeckers will take off. Um, but if we're giving too much attention to all of the adversarial situations or all of the situations that cause us drama, stress, all of that, then we're gonna just sort of that's gonna be our focus, and we're gonna continue with more of that. I feel like that's maybe what we need to allow to die off. All right. Then we have the Ten of Cups, which we saw this card. What day was it? It was just like this week, I feel like. What day did we see the Ten of Cups? Was it last week? No, it was Sunday's reading. It's kicked off Sunday's reading. So that was the sort of underpinning energy of the week, but that was in the beginning of the week, right? We're at the midweek. And what was our midweek card? Our midweek card was the Wheel of Fortune. So this is a reminder here, guys. The Wheel of Fortune is where it spins. It's the card that's Major Arcana, which is the big lesson, right? Similar to the Death card, we're talking about Major Arcana. It packs extra energy. It packs an extra punch. So there's bigger lessons to be had here, even though we might be sort of doing things that may feel subtle. I think that the changes that are taking place are at a deeper, more serious level than we understand. It's key. I feel like this card here says that it's key that we stay focused on not the mud, but the flowers, right? Like, sometimes we have to deal with a little bit of bullshit so that we can grow and understand our own strength and beauty and the abundance of that, right? So if we get too caught up in the adversarial situations and what's not going right in our day, or what, what's not like sort of working for us, or what causes us further, like, I don't know, strife or annoyance, we're going to look more towards the field of mud and see it as dirt and of the like maybe no value. But like it's maybe I'm being too metaphorical here with these cards, but I kind of feel like to grow anything, it requires some manure, right? To grow anything in the world, for anything to become in nature what it intends to be, it requires a period of sort of growth and learning. And so allow those periods or those, situations that maybe have formed you into something that's limiting, right? Allow those things to die off. Let them go. Transmute them at this point. It's time to move on. Like, is it okay if I use you as a cat, like self-fulfilling prophecy? And I feel like with the underpinning energy from Sunday's forecast, if you guys haven't watched Sunday's forecast, that's always like for Sunday and then kind of like the theme of the week. And the theme of the week to me, with that midweek card, because we're getting ready to approach Wednesday, right, is the Wheel of Fortune. So this Ten of Cups says to me, we want to be celebrating ourselves. We want to be focusing on joy and balance, not on the adversarial situations we might be dealing with, or we might find ourselves worried about their oncoming approach with the holiday season. Whatever that is, we need to let these thoughts go. We need to let these thoughts fly off. We need to understand that these thoughts that are maybe so sort of securely in our brain, or have been for the last few years, they're going to outgrow the nest and sort of fly away if we allow them to. We need to want that. We need to desire that. We need to want that abundance. We need to understand and acknowledge sort of the dirt or the painful situations that we've gone through has been exactly the soil that we've needed so that we can grow. Right? So now it's time to start to look at the abundance and the joy and the opportunities that have come from these situations that maybe were painful and wrong. But you know what? It's like at a certain point, We can't, do we want to hold painful and wrong in our space, or do we want to hold growth and opportunity in our space, right? We've survived it. It's sort of like that meme that I put up that Marg had posted that I thought was very apropos for everything we've been looking at. It's like every time I have a bad day or a bad experience, I need to look back and reflect that, you know what? My success rate of getting through them is at 100%. So it's like we've survived a whole lot more and we're not giving ourselves that credit. And I think that the Ten of Cups says, give yourself that credit. Give yourself that emotional sort of abundance, that joy. And remember also the grounding stone for this week was to enjoy, right? So to stay focused on what brings us joy, what brings us balance. Don't stay focused on how out of balance we are. Don't stay focused on, oh, my life is this, my life is that, my life is this, my life is that. Whatever you're focusing on, whatever you are sort of like saying your life is what your life is. You're creating it. You're bringing that into being. If you see yourself as struggling, you're going to create more opportunities for there to be struggle. If you start to sort of look at where things are working in your lives and focusing your attention and energy on those things, bringing those things into balance and that joy that we see in this Ten of Cups, that's when we start to create that shift. That's when a field full of mud becomes a field full of flowers, guys. Right? So I'm just saying, Mary Lyman says, I can feel the inner chances happening inside of me. Well, good. I think that that's what we need to do. And if it means like just sort of, being easy with yourself today and taking care of yourself, go ahead and do that. But do that from a place of self-care and love and appreciation. Don't do that from a place of depression, sadness, or low self-esteem. Does that make sense? Like, so let's see what this says. I am calm in darkness. It says, I embrace all aspects of myself, including comfortably facing my shadow side. Guys, yesterday's Queen of Wands was all about that. So this is really a time with the quieting of the winter season. This is really a time where we get to sort of sit with ourselves. Maybe those of you that have to work or have busy lives, I understand finding 5 or 10 minutes to do that is maybe hard. But if you do take the time out and find that 5 or 10 minutes and stay calm within that darkness, or stay calm within that discomfort, stay calm within like sort of situations that might bring you dis-ease or and I mean dis-ease, not disease, but like, feeling that level of uncomfortability. That's sort of this Five of Swords, right? If we can remain sort of strong, like the tree that we see in that card, and centered and grounded, those situations, we're going to realize that we are actually stronger than those situations. We can actually find joy within those situations, and find our own personal balance within them. This is about growth. This, to me, like that death card signifies like actually the rebirth that's taking place, but we have to acknowledge it and allow for it to happen, right? And we have to find that peace within ourselves, even with the stuff that we don't like. Even this is what that Queen of Wands was telling us yesterday, is she was embracing all aspects of self, right? This is what they're talking about in this I am calm in the darkness, is like even when we face our shadow side, we have to be okay with that, because that's who we are. If we don't, then we're going to have to run. And we're going to have to continue to run and continue to be nervous and continue to be on edge. And the breath work that we do every morning with the mind, body, spirit connection, this is going to bring up this stuff. It's going to bring up this stuff for all of us, right? To me, I've really been like grateful for it, and I feel like it's a beautiful thing. It's brought me into center to understand that yes, I do get nervous, but I don't have to, or fearful about certain situations, but I can kind of acknowledge that thought and go, oh, that's just a thought. I don't have to act on that thought. And that's sort of what we've got a choice here. Do we want to act on the scary thoughts or the adversarial thoughts or the thoughts that aren't working in our favor? Or do we want to operate from a place of emotional joy? Do we want to sit calm in the darkness with ourselves and understand that we are okay? And when we can do that, again, another sort of powerful magic is happening there. There's an acceptance that's happening there that we need for ourselves, and we need to give to ourselves more so than we need to receive from the outside world. And I think that sometimes we look to the outside world for that validation, and the outside world is unable to give us that validation. We have to be willing to give it to ourselves. So, let me get to the grounding stone, and the grounding stone for any of you that might be, yeah, Tracy Murray says, what you feed, you receive. I say, what you believe, you receive. So, it's the same thing, the same concept. It's like, if you are sitting there telling yourself you're a certain way, well, that's exactly what you're creating. You know, you're sort of setting yourself up in that vibration by focusing on that and believing that. So now is a beautiful time. I really think with the winter, the ending of the decade, the beginning of the new year, it's a really wonderful time to reflect back and say, okay, so what is it that is holding me back? Where are my thoughts at right now? How do I view myself? How do I hold myself in my life? Am I loving myself from a place of love, or am I loving myself from a place of uncomfortability? Am I really truly caring for myself? Am I putting myself first before anybody and everybody else? And yes, guys, that's okay to do. Because if you're not taking care of, you can't really truly take care of anybody else. You're gonna run the gamut of burnout. You're gonna run all sorts of, it's another, to me, it's another way of sort of forcing yourself to not kind of look at yourself. I mean, I understand you have responsibilities. People have families, they have things that they have to take care of, but you also have to acknowledge yourself and take that time. And I think that through this breath work that we've been doing, it might be stirring up stuff within you guys that is why we're seeing these cards repeated over and over again, because the breath work and the alignment of those three components of ourselves brings us to this place where we have to sort of look at ourselves. We have to sort of bring ourselves into that place of ease. And to do that, we have to let go of the things that cause us dis-ease or disconnection. You know, when we sit even for 3 breaths and we say to our body, thank you, and even try to mean it, we don't even have to fully feel it yet, but when we open that door to the idea of acknowledging our body in the present moment, like for me, and I haven't even gotten to the grounding stone yet, sorry, I'm a bit on a tirade, but you guys can see that it says truth there, and it's also in obsidian, which is very much about grounding and keeping negative energy away. I love that it matches with that calm in the darkness card, right? So we're talking about the truth in the darkness, the truth in who we truly are, the settling of that, the grounding in that, the getting connected to that, and the finding of the appreciation and joy of that, right? Because we had that enjoyment stone. We have this 10 of Cups here. It's telling us we really need to embrace ourselves right now during this period. And embrace ourselves from a place of acceptance and our own personal validation, right? But don't necessarily, when I'm saying embrace yourself, I want you to find acceptance and love for yourself in all aspects of your being, but also desire and want for more. But all you have to do is desire and want for it. That's it. And then go about taking small steps, if that's what's comfortable for you, to start to begin to change those things, to start to be willing to allow that death card to sort of transform you, to allow those changes to happen. Like with the adversary card, with the 5 of Swords, you know, if somebody's annoying you, if a coworker, a friend, a family member is getting under your skin or bothering you, or, you know, don't focus on that. Walk away. Know that you deserve more. Or, if you can't walk away, right, maybe it's a family member you live with or whatever, find some sort of appreciation for them. Find some sort of opportunity where you can see them from a different light. And free yourself up from that situation so that you can find joy and balance within it. You deserve that joy and balance. No mopey Marthas. Laurie Hill Mallet says, I don't feel like this is a mopey card setup today. I think that this is a very empowering reading. I just feel like the sense here is that I think that people may be holding on to things that aren't serving them. And I feel like Spirit might be trying to drive home this message to all of us that it's time. Like, it's time for us to take stock, take inventory, sit quietly with ourselves, stay calm within that darkness, do that shadow work. What is the stuff that's not serving us anymore? Where is it? Is it within us? Is it outside of us? Generally, it's never outside of us. I'm going to share that with you right now. If there's something, if there's a situation outside of you that gets your goat, that gets under your skin, that really pisses you off and gets you to a place of negativity, that situation, that person, whatever that is that really fucks you up, that is such a gift. That's the thing that you need to find appreciation for. And I know that's hard to do. I know that it's not easy. But if you can find that skill, if you can allow that appreciation, that joy, that balance to come into that situation, you end up shifting it. A death does take place. They no longer have the power of this adversary card. You have the power, and it becomes your truth, right? It becomes your, what is your honest, deepest, darkest truth, right? Does this person or does this situation annoy you because you don't have control? Well, why do you need control? Is it because so that you can feel safer? Okay, why do you need to feel safer? Is that because your mind is fearful? Okay, why is your mind fearful? Is that because you don't believe you have the skill set or capability to take care of yourself no matter what the outcome? Okay, well, if we've boiled it down to that, then that's what we need to work on. Do you see what I'm saying? So, like, it's sort of like this idea of right now is a beautiful time to sort of boil it all down and really decide what are we taking into the new year with us and what are we letting go of. Because death wants to take it from us. The Wheel of Fortune that we saw on Sunday wants us to have whatever it is we want, but we have to be really clear on what it is we want, because if we stay stuck or holding on to certain things, certain ideas, certain pictures of who we think we are, and not see ourselves as ever evolving and open to all kinds of positive change, then we're going to get sort of more of exactly what we've been looking at through the last decade. And I don't want that. I can tell you that. I mean, I haven't had a horrible decade, but it's been a ride. Let's just say I would like 2020 to be more ease-filled and be heading me more towards like a positive direction than anything else. So I try and remain open. I try and like this calm in the darkness. It's true. I spend a lot of time alone, guys, with my animals and stuff, and with you guys in the morning and things. But I spend a lot of time by myself, reflecting and comfortable in getting comfortable in that. And what I've realized is that like I don't want a whole lot of necessarily outside input or bullshit friendships or people that don't necessarily understand who I am or what I'm about. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm okay with that. I would rather have quality over quantity, so to speak, but that quality starts with me and my relationship to myself. So, right, exactly. Jen Nichols says if you keep doing what you're doing, you will keep getting what you got. So I think that there's an opportunity here. This Ten of Cups speaks to that energy of we are in still the beginning of the week, right? So that was our first card, was that joy and abundance, sort of this balance card. We want to stay focused on that today as we let go of the things that no longer serve us, the thoughts, the situations, the emotional like sort of charges off of certain people. If those things are still at you, still grabbing you, still bugging you, you haven't done the work. I'm just going to say that. If they still get under your skin, and I know that there's a lot of different reasons as to why situations or people get under our skin, but this death card says to me it's time to let some of these go. They're just not serving us. It's time to do something different. It's time to sort of be more at peace. Allow yourself that peace. And this is, you know, a lot of the metaphysical teachers, or you go to some of these more spiritual based groups, we have people like talking about 5D and the age of Aquarius and all this stuff that's happening and changing and all of that. And I don't even know that I fully understand all of it, but this could be about that sort of changing of your vibration at a very profound level so that you're ready for the higher vibrations that are changing. I really do want to believe that honestly the planet as a whole, society as a whole, all of that is evolving, even if we feel like we're going backwards. There's that phrase, I've quoted it before, the darkest moment, what is it? The dawn already, it's always the darkest moment before the dawn. We might be in that darkest moment right now, right? As we go dawning into this next sort of um, decade. So we have to look at things and face things and be lied to and, you know, look at sort of crumbling political structures and all sorts of crazy shit that's going on in the world right now to show us who we are, to mirror back to us what's not working so that we can let it die. So find your truth today, guys, and sit in it as best you can and find joy for it, even if it feels a little uncomfortable, maybe painful. Ground in it and know that you've got this. If you're letting go and you're releasing stuff, even if you're feeling emotional or you're having troubled thoughts, that's okay. Let those things kind of come and go. Don't hold on to anything too strongly today other than your own truth. That's what I would say today. And keep a focus on being balanced and enjoy as best you can. Also, do the breath work throughout the day and see if that helps. And this may not be such as I know I'm getting a little bit sort of firm in this message, but I just feel like this message is being driven home and driven home and driven home. So either people aren't hearing it, or maybe it's for somebody that hasn't viewed these videos yet. But there definitely seems to be an increase in viewership, and so I need to, you know, acknowledge that spirit is kind of showing up in a big way to get these messages out to us that we are creating our reality. We need to get in line with that and the realization of that and start to understand that, you know, letting go of the things we don't no longer need is really key and important. Thank you, Mary. Mary says, Dan, I feel like you're speaking directly to my inner spirit. And Lori Hill Mallet says, thank the same. Thank you, you guys. I just feel like a broken record. That's kind of why I feel bad, because it's funny to me that these cards keep coming out. But, and I get it. I feel like this is the perfect time of year for this to happen. For us to go sort of quiet, go somber, go reflective, meditate, pick through the last, you know, decade, throw out what we don't need anymore, and start to begin to shift our focus towards what we want and how that feels and the possibility of that and the reality of us creating that and knowing that we can do that. Now, am I always good at that? No, not always, but I'm going to certainly try that. I'm going to certainly ground in my truth and try and stay calm amidst, you know, not knowing what happens next, not knowing what 2020 is going to bring, but knowing that matter what it brings, I will be okay. And I really feel like pretty firm in that. Like, that's to me very much a reality for me. So I'm grateful for that. Like, so grateful for that. Like, I was driving last night. I had a little bit. This is more of a personal story, but last night I was having a I was getting it. I just fed the dogs. I was all excited because at about 4:35 o'clock the dogs get fed and I take them outside and throw the ball for them. It's one of my favorite things to do. I love to watch Gus run because when we were in Mexico he had nowhere to go. It was too dense city. There was garbage everywhere. It was like kind of, I was always in fear with Gus, and I think he could feel my tension with all the dogs, right? Because I never, you know, I didn't want them jumping on people, all this weird stuff. Anyways, so now that we're here, I feel like we can all relax and breathe a little bit. And I go out and I throw the ball for them when it's been cold, but I still do it because it's not raining. And it's my happiest part of the day. And it's the simple act of watching my dog run across the lawn. I fucking love it. Like, it brings me the most amount of happiness right now, and that's okay. Like, to me, I'm grateful for that, and I'm so happy in that moment for my dog to be so happy, right? And watching him bounce around with the ball in his mouth, and it's just like it's different than it was a year ago, right? And so I'm in deep gratitude for that. But we come back in the house last night, and I'm all in the bed talking to my mom, getting in my pajamas, like all excited that, we're winding down for the night now. It's like TV time, and, whatever. And I look over, and my other bulldog, his little dew claw is like torn because they were out there running, and it was bleeding, and it freaked me out. And instead of like going into full on panic mode because it was like really bad and there was blood all over it, and I was like, oh my god, I just sort of did the breath work, and I was like, okay, where's my triangle? Who needs to be up the triangle? The logical mind needs to be up the triangle, balanced by the body and the spirit right now. We can do this. I loaded him into the car, and we took everybody for a ride to the vet. They all loved the ride. Everything was fine. It cost me over $60, which was a little bit of a pain, but they're worth it, and the peace of mind was worth it. But you see what I'm saying? So like, and I was even thinking about it as I was coming home. I was driving and adjusting the triangle and going, okay, so where am I at right now? What needs to be at the top of my triangle? What needs to be supported by the other two aspects of myself? And being consciously aware of that, and working from that place of all three components are aspects of me. All three components are beautiful and flawed, but that's the Queen of Wands energy, right? All three components can be relied upon. All three components will make mistakes, but I need to find humor in that and understand that mistakes are just opportunities to learn too. It's like I'm a human being. I came here to be human and live this experience. Not always going to get it right, and that's okay, you know? But to me, I was actually consciously like in the car adjusting the triangle, and sort of really realizing that, wow, this stuff that we're doing is having even profound effects on me, where instead of like flying into a panic or getting super upset that I had to spend $70 out of nowhere to fix the dog's foot, to me, I was in appreciation of the fact that I got my dog to the vet because he's one of the most important things to me, and it really doesn't matter what amount of money I have to pay to keep him safe and protected, that it will figure itself out. Do you know what I mean? So, and this would, like me a year ago, probably would have been like, oh my god, I can't believe, what did you do? Why are you not paying attention? Like, that's not who I am today. And so I need to acknowledge that part too, right? But we're grateful for who that guy was a year ago too. Like, he was doing the best he knew how. So, anyways, I don't know. That was just a personal story that I don't know if that applies to any of you or makes sense to any of you. But this is kind of where these readings are fitting into my life, and maybe it will help you guys to apply it into yours in those areas where it's best needed. And we can all sort of like let go of some of this stuff and walk into 2020 together feeling very grateful and very much ready for what's to come, because this Wheel of Fortune, this Death card, even the Death card to me is all about big gifts, right? It's big rebirth. It's scary because it's death, but it's like when we let go of something, something new comes into its place, something more suited for us, something more in vibrational alignment to us comes into that place, and that's magic. That's exciting. The unknown should be exciting versus scary. The thrill, the fear, it's like why we watch scary movies is for that excitement, for that jolt of like, so that's the part where you want to be at, finding that joy in that unknown. That's that black sun that death is standing on. It's like the sun will shine again. We just need to be willing to trust ourselves and have faith in ourselves and begin to let go of the stuff that, maybe caused that inability to have faith in the first place. We don't need it anymore. All right, you guys. I will see you guys tonight is a charming. Also, check out the fast links on the page if you have any questions about the fast links. They're available to you. And I'll see you guys tonight for the charming at 7:30. I am thinking about changing up this January monthly horoscopes. I'm thinking about grouping them by element. So I might do one video for all the fire signs, one video for all the water, and so on and so on. If we don't like it that way, and then I'll put timestamps in the videos so that you guys can find your sign via the timestamps. If we don't like it that way after January, please let me know and I'll go back to doing singular ones. But I think that it might seem easier in my mind if I just sit down and do 3 signs at once all on one video versus 12. Does that make sense? Anyways, so go out and enjoy your day. Stay focused on joy and balance today, guys, and peace. And even if things want to get your goat, just be like, not today. I'm good. My truth is that I'm okay and I can handle this no matter what. All right, you guys. And if you want a Charming tonight, make a reservation. Thank you for the reminder, Ducky. Use the fast links to make a reservation. Charmings are $25. And I will see you guys all later tonight. All right, have a good day. Bye-bye.